Good morning and welcome to opening Convocation. It's great to see so many friends and colleagues from across the campus here. It is my privilege and pleasure to kick off the presentation of Faculty and Staff Awards. These kinds of awards and recognition are an important part of university life and help us appreciate the exceptional contributions of our colleagues and the contributions they make to Western. When I call your name, please come forward to the stage to receive your award from Provost RIORDAN and President Shepard while I highlight your accomplishments. The Outstanding Faculty Leadership Award goes to Karen HOELSCHER, Professor in Elementary Education, Woodring College of Education. Since arriving at Western in 1992, Karen HOELSCHER has committed herself to teaching, scholarship, and community service. In 2006, she started co-facilitating the Western Faculty Research Writing Series, which has helped more than 70 tenure-track faculty develop productive writing habits, set realistic goals, and find balance in their scholarly lives. As a testament to her ability to inspire others, this year's workshop series will be comprised entirely of first-year faculty, with mentorship provided by recently tenured alumni of the Research Writing Series. During her career at Woodring, Karen has taught in 11 areas, including courses designed for college freshmen interested in becoming teachers and Woodring students in the K-8 certification program. She has also led many multicultural efforts, co-authoring a book on supporting student identity differences, assisting Western students at Village Book's annual Martin Luther King Jr. read-in, and co-founding Woodring's Diversity Committee. Congratulations, Karen. For our next award, I'd like to invite Eileen Coughlin, Senior Vice President for Enrollment and Student Services, to join Bruce and Catherine at the left side of the stage. This year's Diversity Achievement Award goes to WILLY HART, Director of University Residences. As Director of University Residences for the last 8 years, WILLY HART has worked hard to grow the diversity of University Residences staff and support ethnic student center heritage dinners with funds available through the university dining contract. Being the generous person that he is, WILLY shares this credit for this honor with his colleagues in University Residences and is grateful for the support of colleagues across campus. After earning a bachelor's degree in history and English at Webster College and a master's degree in human services at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, WILLY worked in housing, campus planning, and human resources at the University of Oregon. He came to Western in 1991 to be the Associate Director of Facilities for University Residences, and he became the Director of University Residences 8 years ago and will retire this year. Congratulations, WILLY, and happy retirement. You've earned it. The Carl H. Simpson Bridging Award this year goes to Andy BUNN, Associate Professor in Environmental Sciences. Andy teaches classes on climate and energy science in Huxley College and researches climate change in the modern era and over the history of the planet. This year, Andy founded an interdisciplinary initiative that combines faculty expertise in energy science, public policy, technology, economics, and business at Western's new Institute for Energy Studies. That's right. Before he came to Western, Andy worked as a researcher at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute in Massachusetts, where he studied ecology and biogeochemistry. He did his undergraduate work at Evergreen State College, obtained his master's degree at Duke University, and received his doctorate from Montana State University. Congratulations, Andy. For our next award, I would like to invite Susan Banton, President of PSC of Western Washington University, to join Bruce and Catherine at the left side of the stage. This year's Outstanding Classified Staff Award goes to Kevin DIXEY, Information Technology Specialist in Academic Technology. As an IT specialist and technology trainer in academic technology and user services, Kevin DIXEY believes in teaching skill and tailors his training workshops to meet specific needs of students, faculty, and staff. After earning a bachelor's degree in theater from the University of California, San Diego, Kevin started his technology career in Seattle, where he managed his own media design firm called Spinwire. He and his wife moved to Bellingham in 2002 to pursue their graduate degrees, and now Kevin has a master's degree in environmental education from Huxley College. As a graduate student, Kevin helped to establish the Tectonic Technology Expo, not easy to say, even though I practiced, a free hands-on learning and demo event for the campus community. In his current position, he created the ATUS instructional video website and leads numerous workshops and training events. Congratulations, Kevin. Would Paul Mueller, president of the Professional Staff Organization, please join Bruce and Catherine for the presentation of this next award. The Professional Staff Award for Excellence is awarded to Dana Edward, Director of Certification and Accreditation, Woodring College of Education. Unfortunately, Dana cannot be here today, so I ask Dean Francisco Rios of Woodring College to come forward and accept the award on Dana's behalf while I describe her accomplishments. Before Dana came to Western in 1999, she had more than 25 years of experience in the public sector. She has worked for the San Diego Convention Center Corporation, the San Diego Housing Commission, and the San Diego County Department of Social Services. During the academic year, Dana works with faculty and staff across the campus, dealing with curricular revisions and proposals, and advises on educator certification. For the last few years, her focus has been on the coordination of a concurrent state program approval and national accreditation site visit. Thank you, Dean Rios, and please give our congratulations to Dana. This next award used to simply be named the Community Engagement Award. However, this year the name was changed to honor the service of Western trustee Philip E. Sharpe, Jr., who left the board this summer. In addition to serving 2 terms as a Western trustee, Mr. Sharpe has served on the boards of Whatcom Community College and, with his wife Sue, co-chaired the Bellingham School District campaign that raised $30 million for the renovation of Bellingham High School. So, this year's Philip E. Sharpe Jr. Community Engagement Award goes to James LOUCKY, Professor of Anthropology. James LOUCKY began teaching at Western in 1989 and specializes in Latin American affairs, international migration, and intercultural education. Since his graduate study at UCLA, he has been involved with the Maya of Guatemala, providing expert testimony in asylum cases and helping to build community well-being across the diaspora that now encompasses Whatcom County and most of North America. He serves on the Bellingham Sister Cities Association and for 10 years has co-organized the Bellingham Human Rights Film Festival. James is a vocal advocate for human rights and frequent contributor to public awareness through presentations on immigration and social equity. He works closely with the Lummi community, public school teachers, refugees, and colleagues across campus to bring speakers on critical world issues. His international field courses have taken students to learn in small communities in Peru, India, Thailand, and Kenya. Congratulations, James. For our final award this morning, I would like to invite Stephanie Bowers, Vice President for University Advancement, to join Bruce and Catherine at the left side of the stage. The next award is the Team Recognition Award, and this year it goes to the team responsible for planning the Back to Bellingham weekend. On behalf of the Back to Bellingham team, would Chris Roselli, Director of Young Alumni and Student Programs, please come forward to join us on the stage? Over 260 individuals were part of Back to Bellingham weekend last year. Many are seated in the front of the auditorium. Many, not all. Would the team members please stand to be recognized and remain standing while I describe your accomplishments, please? The Back to Bellingham weekend is a collaborative event that brings together a large cross-section of the university to showcase the best of Western for alumni, students, prospective students, parents, volunteers, and the community at large. Its third annual celebration this May drew nearly 7,000 people to campus for a weekend of sold-out shows, events, classes without quizzes, and family fun. The Back to Bellingham weekend is organized by the Alumni Association in conjunction with New Student Services and Family Outreach. Congratulations to everyone who contributed to this terrific team achievement, and especially Chris for coordinating all of us. Congratulations to all of the award recipients. Your accomplishments are a credit to you and to Western as a whole. Your dedication to this university gives meaning to the phrase, active minds, changing lives. So thank you. Can we all give the award recipients another round of applause, please? And now, for his fall remarks, it is my pleasure to introduce you to our president, Bruce Shepard.
Everybody, please say cheese. There we go. All right, cool. You know, this old dog is trying to learn new tricks. I've been experimenting with Twitter and just had to send a tweet out on opening Convocation. And actually, that's going to be one of my themes for this morning, trying new things. First, though, a warm welcome from Cindy and me to all of you, a special welcome to those newest among our Western community. I've heard much about you, and I know how fortunate we are to have you as a part of Western. And congratulations to our award winners. Western's hallmark is excellence. Our award winners epitomize it. Cindy and I look forward to further celebrating your accomplishments this evening. We build that excellence upon foundations that have been solidly laid. We do have the good fortune to have with us President Emeritus Jerry Flora and Rosemary Flora. Join with me in showing our appreciation to them and through them to so many others who are responsible for the gift of this fine university. Now, Jerry, you once, with great pride, pointed out to me that you had been hanged in effigy 3 times. I was in the middle of some crisis, and you thought it would be reassuring for me as you pointed out that I had a long way to go to match you. Never reluctant to speak your mind, imagine, Jerry, if you'd had the capacity as president to tweet 140-character blast at a time, 24/7, to anybody and everybody. I think I see the world's record for being hanged in effigy. Humor aside, we're proud of what you did for Western and proud to have you with us here this morning. As the previous academic year drew to a close, any number of you observed that it had been a very successful year, but also that you really needed a break. Cindy and I felt the same. When that June day of 3 spring commencements concluded, I tossed off my regalia. Cindy and I put the puppies, Annie and Lucy, in our already packed car, and we were heading out of town before Carver was fully empty. I do hope you also found opportunities to recharge. But it should come as no surprise that the most successful years are the ones that demand the most of us. Our successes are not given to us. Our successes had to be created under stress with stakes high. What successes? The list is long. Do take a few minutes to check out the annual report now online. You'll love the new format. It's very interactive and easy to use and lets you explore all sorts of paths and avenues, but I believe you'll find the substance very impressive. One obvious reason for feeling good about last year, 0 additional cuts for Western during that last legislative session. That did not just happen. Indeed, had the initial scenario prevailed, the governor's proposed budget, we would have faced huge cuts on top of those already taken. Working together, we rewrote that gubernatorial script, all of us together. We were on message, we were together, we were engaged. Students, alumni, parents, faculty, staff, trustees, administration, community advocates, unions. There was a critical reawakening and re-engagement of natural allies amongst private sector leaders. Very important, I believe, and of course using no state resources, there were major advances in overtly political pro-higher education involvement. Being fully engaged with the Seattle Times Greater Good campaign, putting in place sophisticated capabilities to rally targeted constituencies, and forming a political action committee to support appropriate political candidates. Not coincidentally, but also critical, real leaders in the legislature stepped forward to argue for the critical role of higher education. Running scared also helped. We chose not to put our campus through the ringer of having to plan for more cuts on top of cuts. Instead, we bet we could beat back the proposed cuts. High stakes if we failed, for we had no plan B. Because of you and your relentless efforts, we did not need a plan B. For this, I am deeply grateful. To you, thank you all. Looking ahead, I wish I could promise respite. I cannot. As dramatic as the no more cuts outcome was, we must not view it as a turnaround completed. Rather, it is a beginning. You have created a set of initiatives recently adopted by our trustees that build upon Western's strength in order to address key needs of the state. We must push that agenda hard, not for Western's sake, for Washington's sake. Washington's success so depends upon not merely stabilizing, but significantly growing the baccalaureate pipeline. We also must work hard to have the state further address the fact that Western still receives less funding per student than any of the other publics, 4-year or 2-year. It's also the case that after 4 years of a freeze in filling tenure lines, and because of successful rebasing, this last year we started 39 searches to fill tenure lines. It is hard to explain to a non-academic just how important this is. In the mere act of the search itself, the stimulation of, again, engaging with colleagues in intense discussion of what the department will most need looking forward, and critically evaluating the potential of candidates, and joining with colleagues and candidates where disciplinary issues passionately cared about are debated from fresh perspectives. These rigorous search processes have brought us a group of wonderful new faculty who we look forward to working with and learning from. There were 7 faculty searches that we did choose to keep open to search again this year. There were 3 open positions that were filled as a part of dual career accommodations for current faculty. For the remaining 29 positions, 58% of the hires were women and 17% of the hires were faculty of color. Both percentages represent significant improvements. Every year from this stage and at this time, you've heard me say that if in the decades ahead we are as white as we are today, we will have failed as a university. You showed in the numbers I just gave that you're not about to let such failure happen. From the bottom of my soul, for there's nothing I care more deeply about, I say thank you all. Such improving numbers remain, of course, just a start. As we enjoy a future made brighter by its diversity, I am announcing a new program. Beginning winter quarter, we will be offering opportunities for Western employees to take classes in conversational Spanish at university expense and on university time. Priority will go first to frontline colleagues staffing our offices, serving the public and serving students. We do so not so much because Spanish fluency is necessary to our future function, but rather as a statement of our commitment to more diverse futures. And as It is also testimony to the enrichment, the cultural vitality, the chances for personal growth, and the pure enjoyment to be found in diversity. We also have the results of surveys of campus climate as judged by students and faculty. This year we will ask similar questions of classified and professional staff colleagues. We have learned that the campus climate experiences reported by women, by racial and ethnic minorities, by gays, lesbians, transsexuals, and bisexuals are different from the campus climate reported by majority counterparts. Different in unacceptable ways. Unacceptable to all of us who care so deeply about fostering Western's excellence. That excellence requires a climate supporting the very best of every one of us. These data do allow national benchmarking. We end up looking like everybody else, maybe a percentage point or two better. No solace there, though, for Westerners are not about to be satisfied by being merely average. We find, then, that we are part of a society with resilient, sexist, racist, homophobic, and heterocentric forces. The only thing to be embarrassed about when a challenge is documented is to do nothing about it. Just as our hiring data reflected what has to be a campus-wide commitment and campus-wide action, so too must be efforts to address the campus climate issues. We need the help of everyone on campus in figuring out how to improve and then going about improving the situation. The new WWU faculty contract is another reason that people volunteered why they thought it was a successful past year, and rightly so. Why I feel good about the contract? The terms are certainly important. Good feelings also have something to do with the process. Appropriately intense, but mutually respectful. I am deeply appreciative of all on both sides of the table whose commitments, hard work, and shared vision made it so. Thank you all. That contract is also an affirmation of what faculty and administration together most value when it comes to academic excellence, clause by clause. And finally, there is a fact that when the predictable external criticism did come in, we did not back down, we did not apologize, we did not look for cover. We, importantly with our trustees in the lead, explained the facts of life, that Western is defined by its excellence, and we will do what it takes to protect that excellence. For standing up for excellence, I again say thank you all. We were heard, you were heard. Responses from alumni, parents, students ran 4-to-1 favorably, joining us in standing up for quality. Or as one well-regarded Seattle businessman leader wrote to me, his only sentence was, "If you pay peanuts, you get monkeys." In too many parts of the university, we are getting superhuman efforts, but still for peanuts. That is unfair and unsustainable. But one example, in our counseling center, we lost all but one of our frontline counselors to offers with which we could not compete. This on a campus that last year saw 3 tragic suicides. Fighting for compensation for all employees will be our #1 top priority in the coming legislative session. I would be remiss if it were not also acknowledged, looking back, that it was a year that took its emotional toll. I am thinking first of the 3 student suicides. Even there, though, we committed to fight that scourge. We also took care of each other in visible and tangible ways. You also took care of me in your notes and conversations. Again, I owe you a deep and genuine thank you. Looking ahead, I do want to announce a new opportunity to help us take good physical care of ourselves and each other. I am sometimes asked why faculty and staff have to pay $105 per quarter to use the Wade King Recreation Center. Simple answer is that students, through their fees, are paying what it costs to build that facility and to operate that facility. 100% no state money. Those who are not students then also have to pay their fair share. So here's the deal. We'll be announcing a new and special Wade King membership for faculty and staff. It is limited to the hours of less heavy student use. You can probably guess the hours. Every weekday from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m., all day Saturday and Sunday. On a pilot basis, the university will pick up half the $60 per quarter cost. That means the cost to you will be $30 per quarter. This is, of course, simply an addition to our increasingly robust employee fitness programs with classes from yoga to conditioning. Please do consider participating. It can really make a difference. I want to thank our student government leaders for stepping forward to accept this use of their Wade King. I first noted the most obvious reason for feeling good was last year was no more cuts. Sure, we care about dollars, but respect, reputation, regard matter more. I suspect therein is a major reason why people feel it was a good year. It may not overstate the situation to say that last year, Western more clearly emerged from its regional cocoon to test its wings as a highly regarded statewide entity. Trustees report the statewide buzz about Western. I found exactly the same. Faculty and staff have mentioned it too. Why? It begins, of course, by having a university worthy of the buzz that we have. We've had it for some time, though. So what has changed? Certainly we took seriously the messages from the 100 conversations. One of those being, you're a hidden gem. Stop hiding. You know the resulting branding efforts that are ever more consistently tying together our messaging. We took seriously another finding from the 100 conversations. Raise your profile and your presence in Seattle. Our new offices in 2 Union Square and the first session of Western Summer School at North Seattle Community College certainly did that. But we also kept Seattle and the rest of the state in mind in much of what we did last year. The theme of our fundraising campaign, Western stands for Washington, beautifully reinforces the various efforts. And it has resonated with so many as the pace of our fundraising, I'm proud to report this morning, has significantly exceeded our initial targets. We have ever more gotten off of our campus to also be where people are in their lives, in their careers, in our state. One recent example from among so many. Western is partnering with the Low-Income Housing Institute. It's located in Seattle, and there we provide mentors one-on-one to adult refugees living in low-income housing units. These many efforts to be there for Washington will expand in the year ahead. And we have an ambitious goal to unite all of our on- and off-campus efforts, summarized by the phrase, one Western. To me, that means that each of the efforts shares the Western commitment to top quality in whatever it is we choose to do. Once again, a deeply personal thank you is due from Washington to Western, from me to you. Many reasons, then, to feel good about the year just concluded and about the matters that emerge for this coming year's attention. The priorities of our Olympia agenda, the continuing success of our fundraising efforts, building out One Western, our diversity efforts, and seizing the opportunities to strengthen the campus climate. I'm going to conclude by looking ahead, maybe way ahead. Over the years, I have spoken about higher education being in a period of major transformation. I usually begin by reminding us of our history, that the two epochs of major higher ed transformation, those associated with the Morrill Act that created the land-grant universities, and those associated with major higher ed expansion under the GI Bill, were actually opposed by the higher ed establishments of their times. I have emphasized the need to continually ask ourselves discomforting questions so we may not fall prey to the forces that blinded those earlier higher ed establishments. Today I draw a different corollary. Periods of major transformation open enormous opportunities for doing well and for doing good, but only for those with appropriately aligned values. And I think Western's core values are well aligned for continuing success. Transformations are very hard to clearly see when in the midst of them. Is the American higher education landscape being remade? Please consider the following. Major prestigious universities are now competing amongst themselves to provide classes taught by their very best faculty to hundreds of thousands for free. The Khan Academy has built an instructional engine serving the learning requirements of millions, again for free. Most of the world's science and creative advances will be done beyond our shores and done by those no longer relying upon our campuses as their academic and intellectual launching pads. The President of the United States uses rising tuition as a campaign issue and suggests the universities are scapegoats. A national news magazine on its cover this week asked, "Is college a lousy investment?" There's talk in industry and commerce that they might begin to abandon the baccalaureate degree as a credential for employment and advancement. Student debt loads have reached the point where more and more prospective students and their parents no longer see college as providing a pathway to brighter futures. And please join me in looking at challenges closer to home, where the long-term prospects for the state government's fiscal health, given the current revenue structure, are bleak, whatever may happen to the state's economy. Where baccalaureate degrees are proliferating on the two-year campuses, and a new public baccalaureate campus is being developed in Everett, in our backyard. And where students in Washington can go to a two-year and then transfer to the Western Governors University, earning a baccalaureate degree for a total cost equal to 1/4 of the cost of attending Western. And heaven forbid, where a president is trying to communicate with you in 140-character tweets. Amidst the uncertainty, you have heard me confidently argue that we are about high-end quality and have nothing to fear. Bring on the lower quality competition. But now lay on top of this example after example of other kinds of enterprises. Automotive manufacture, computer manufacture, steel, where successful enterprises saw no need to change as they ceded ground to low-quality entrants using new technologies to serve markets the dominant players didn't really care about. Only too late did the major players find out that there was nothing left for them as the new competitors, moved up the food chain from the low-quality, low-revenue products, having figured out how to apply those new technologies to the more lucrative, higher and higher-end undertakings. Now, what does this mean for Western? We certainly are not manufacturing steel or automobiles and rightly bristle at industrial analogies. I really don't know what it means for Western, but I do believe in the list that I just cited and read over, there are embedded for us to find, for you to find, important questions that we must fearlessly ask of ourselves. What I can see, though, is the sorts of values that will be necessary as we look ahead to be successful as a university. It begins with adventurousness. That's something our research shows is just part of the character of Western. It's what attracts faculty, staff, students, alumni to be a part of Western, to continue to be a part of Western. It is absolutely critical to have that adventurousness first, because that's what lets us not be scared off by challenges, by uncertainties, but rather to welcome them, to be engaged by them. Next comes something that must not change, that must not transform. We must be extremely clear about our core commitment, and that core commitment is to undergraduate academic excellence deeply rooted in the ever more relevant liberal arts. While core commitment and mission doesn't change, how that's best served can change as the circumstances around us offer new opportunities, challenges, and threats. There, another key Western value becomes very important. What our research shows, what all the evidence indicates, is that we are a very innovative university. We are driven to innovate. I did ask each of the vice presidents to develop a list of innovations. I just pick one or two. I also said pick one that's a failure, because you've heard me say it before from this stage. If we are not also sometimes failing, then we truly are not innovating. The list is out there on the web. I'm not going to take all your time this morning by running over it, but they range from what we've already recognized, this Energy Institute that has taken the best of 3 colleges and focused them on a critical need of our society, of our world, range from that to his faculty this summer who worked to develop some online textbooks that this coming year will save our students $10,000 in textbook costs. Innovations are important, so is innovative thinking. And again, that I see on our campus. Let me give you 3 quick examples of what I mean by innovative thinking. Your list would probably be different. But certainly when it comes to international education, traditional universities look at it as shipping and receiving, sending students abroad, bringing international students to their campuses. Modern innovative universities realize that with the world's creativity, scholarship, discovery now taking place throughout the world, to stay on that leading edge, we must be embedded in an international network, mesh of relations involving everything we do as a university. Consider diversity. Establishing goals, reaching them, exceeding them is absolutely critical. No letting off there. The numbers do matter. But leading universities, innovative universities, understand that it's more than simply the numbers, as important as they are. We must also take advantage of all the strengths that are there and achieved by having a more diverse campus. Diversity engaged and not merely counted. Or consider the difference between online and residential instruction. Traditional thinking looks at it as, what are the relative merits of each? That eye is on the wrong ball. Innovative thinking looks at the technologies themselves, not how they're being applied, and asks for the preferred delivery, for the preferred applications, what are the opportunities to improve, to do a better job, be it online, be it residential, be it the myriad hybrids that are now emerging. And by the way, by technologies, I don't primarily mean, although most people think that just means the silicon-based technologies. As important, if not more important, are the technologies that are rooted in developments that are organizational, cultural, social, and pedagogical. Well, crystal balls are murky. And our guesses of the future will often be wrong. I'm sure some of the things offered this morning will be shown to be wrong. But this part I'm absolutely certain of. Our rudder must be academic quality, thoroughly grounded in the liberal arts, undergraduate academic excellence, grounded in the liberal arts. Adventurousness is what allows us, what it propels us to grab that rudder. We're not going to shirk away from it even with threatening skies. And it's innovation that will be the wind in our sails. But what sets our direction? Here I return to another one of those key values that emerged as we looked about why people come to Western, what drives all of us here at Western. And it's pretty simple. We're here to make a difference, to be the difference. Yes, active minds are important, but not alone. It's about changing lives. That's what drives us as a university. By the way, in those earlier epochs I was talking about, the universities that flourished after the Civil War or after World War II were those who were there to make a difference, to build a better country, to build a better world. And that's what Western is about. That's what you're about, always have been. So yes, as I look forward, I see a lot of uncertainties. I'm sure you do too. I'm sure there'll be some surprises. But I've reached a very reassuring conclusion. The values critical for success as those uncertainties are faced are exactly the Western we are today and need to be in the future, are exactly who you are. So again, a very warm and genuine thank you from me to you. And as to that tweet with which I began as I came up to the podium, you may wonder what I tweeted. I was able to summarize my entire speech. It didn't take 140 characters. I did it in 3 words. Thank you all. Thank you for what you did last year. But thank you primarily for who you are, for Western and the state of Washington will continue to flourish precisely because of that for decades ahead. Thank you much. Have a great year.
Thank you for coming to the breakfast this morning and this ceremony. As I'm sure many of you recognize, this ceremony is a meaningful way of showing your commitment to Western and your faith in each other as colleagues. On behalf of all the university leaders on this stage this morning, thank you for coming and best wishes for the academic year. Go Vikings!